McDonald's isn't just a fast food giant. It's becoming a prevalent system found within institutions all across society and even society itself. In today's video, I'm going to break down the idea of the McDonaldization of Society as proposed by George Ritzer, everyday examples, and what should happen instead. If you like what you see today, go to my channel page and see what else I have to offer here at The Advocate Who's Autistic. And if that has you interested, quit stalling and quick subscribe already. But first, let's learn what George Ritzer means when he says that our society is like a fast food restaurant. The first aspect of McDonaldization is efficiency. Like fast food restaurants, businesses and institutions are set up in such a way that one can obtain all the goods and services they need/want and more, and in as little time and by spending as little money as possible. Fast food restaurants make their services efficient by serving food that can be made within minutes, hence why it's called fast food, and by having a walk-up counter and drive-through window. We've probably never had anything more efficient than online shopping, where one can simply look up the product they want, click a mouse enough times to request it, pay for it, and have it shipped to their address, and there they have it. Something they would have had to travel all the way out for in the past. Our next aspect is calculability. You know how McDonald's seems to operate based on how to make the most money possible and not necessarily how to provide a genuine service to their target customers? Well, most institutions and businesses these days are just like that. Simply put, quantity equals quality. A large amount of product delivered to the customer in a short amount of time is the same as a high-quality product. It seems these days that the deciding factor in what we buy is the amount of bang for our buck we would get. And anyone who tries to sell you anything plays on this tendency. That's calculability, and it's tied to efficiency because it plays on the desire to get the most out of doing the least work or spending the least money possible. Next up, predictability. When you go to a store or restaurant, there's always a reason you choose that specific place. It's not like they're all the same, but that doesn't mean there's no sense of uniformity or sameness in all of these places. All restaurants have a menu with entrees, sides, drinks, and desserts. You order from a waiter or waitress who either brings the food to your table or prepares it for you to pick up at the counter or drive-thru depending on the type of restaurant. When you go grocery shopping, you can trust that the store in question has a produce section, a bakery, a deli, a meat section, dairy section, and aisles for other kinds of food and other products. That's why we all tend to have a restaurant or grocery store that we prefer to go to. This aspect of McDonaldization can especially be seen in schools, where children all sit at desks in a classroom with a teacher. All lessons and school events are strategically planned to follow the same structure every year. That's why it was such a big deal when the schools shut down in March of 2020, and when they reopened in the fall, many things were changed drastically in keeping with the COVID-19 guidelines. It seems these days that most institutions work with a cookie cutter or some kind of formula that might just look slightly different across each one. Now for the fourth aspect, which is control. Society and the institutions within it are structured in such a way that a particular outcome or process is guaranteed. Just like how fast food restaurants are set up in such a way that they subtly control employees and customers, if you will. The lines, limited options, and uncomfortable seats of a McDonald's encourage its customers to eat quickly and leave. At a university, such as the one where I first learned about the concept of McDonaldizations, applicants have test scores, GPAs, and application answers that have to be met before they can even come. And once they are accepted, they have a somewhat limited array of majors to choose from. Within each of these majors are a limited number of classes and professors, some of which have to be taken before others, all with the end goal of meeting the requirements to finally earn a certain degree. Professors themselves are controlled by higher-ups at the university, checking in on them to make sure they're teaching what they're supposed to, getting students on the right track to graduate, and teaching in such a way that students express satisfaction in course evaluations. Ritzer noted that as technology advances, the control aspect becomes more and more relevant and effective. For example, the use of the internet for college students to sign up for classes, meal plans, housing, and course evaluations. Pros, cons, and alternatives of McDonaldization. McDonaldization has changed society for the better in a lot of ways, namely that it's made our modern world. This can be best seen in that it's brought about more efficiency, with better and faster service coming at lower cost. McDonaldization also makes products and services more widely available to the general populace, but especially to the most underserved. Also, the proliferation of fast food models can stimulate economic growth and job creation in various sectors. But at what cost do these things come? Well, for one, we sacrifice a great deal of quality for them. McDonaldization can contribute to the erosion of local cultures and traditions as global brands overshadow local businesses and customs. McDonaldization also takes humanity and authenticity out of business and society. The emphasis on non-human technology and control can lead to a less personal and more mechanized experience for customers and workers alike. This isn't even to mention the negative impact McDonaldization has had on the environment. The processes associated with McDonaldization often prioritize efficiency over sustainability, which has the long-term effects of pollution, climate change, waste buildup, and depletion of resources. The cons of McDonaldization are addressed through an initiative called de-McDonaldization. Efforts are related to focusing on quality instead of quantity, enjoying the unpredictability of service and product, and employing more skilled workers without any outside control. Protests have also been rising in nation-states in order to slow down the process of McDonaldization and to protect their localization and traditional value. It can be expensive, but one way to de-McDonaldize your own life, if you can afford it, is to live in an atypical environment, preferably one you have built yourself or have had built for you. Even if all you can afford is an apartment or tract house, decorate it or run the household in your own innovative way. There are some things you may not realize you actually can do for yourself because you rely so much on outside services for them. For example, lubricate your own car. If you're unwilling or unable to do that, have it done at your local independent gasoline station. Our society is so McDonaldized that it's unlikely anyone will go full self-sufficient, but we can all reduce the cookie cutter, quality-reducing, lazy-making effect it's had by obtaining our services from smaller, localized, independent businesses instead of big, franchised ones. It can be scary to think about, but there's really no denying what George Ritzer said about McDonaldization. And unfortunately, it's worked so well that our modern world is set up so that there are very few ways around it, if any at all. As one person, something I'm doing is making YouTube content all about how our society works and addressing the many issues within it. Here are two I think you should check out right now. With the wide array of videos I make here at The Advocate Who's Autistic, it might be in your best interest to click personalized notifications after you subscribe. But if you really want to get the whole shebang and click all notifications, go for it.